Good evening, dear lurkers, watchers, and listeners, wherever you are. Welcome to Ghastly Tales. I'm Mike, and you may not have seen this stupid face for a little while. There's two reasons for that. The first is that I've been on holiday. I don't know what this is. My holiday's not over here. I'm back now. And the second is that I haven't done one of these horror detour videos in quite some time. So, for new subscribers and anyone who hasn't seen this video series on the channel, Horror Detour is basically where I talk about various horror topics, but I'm going to repurpose it slightly, certainly for today and maybe into the future, which is that I want to talk about horror creators who I really enjoy and people who I think should get more limelight. They should get more exposure. And the reason for this is that, especially in the horror narration and voiceover community, whether it be podcasts or channels on YouTube, I feel that there are two types of people who produce horror narrations on YouTube. There are the people who are kind of hobby enthusiasts. They just enjoy it. It's not something they necessarily take really seriously, and they find a story online. They read the story. They should get permission from the author first, but some don't. But once you get permission, they read the story. They then find some public domain music. They put it underneath the story, and they just put it up online. And it takes them maybe 30 minutes to make a video. Now, I'm not disparaging that. I've always said this, I admire the effort. You know, I admire when people do anything creative, have hobbies, whether it's a passion, whether it's a career, whatever it is, I always admire it. But I think there is a difference between people who work that way, and then there are some people who really take voiceover work, audio productions seriously. And they spend an awful lot of time editing, honing, trying different performances, maybe with the one narration, trying to make sure that they get everything as good as possible so that the listener is never really let down. They're always listening to something which is engrossing, it's enticing, it's compelling. They're always there, right in the story, on the edge of their seat. Now, I like to think that we do that on Ghastly Tales. Some of you may disagree, but there are other YouTubers as well who really put in this effort. Some of them are huge, 1 million subscribers. Some of them are not so huge. I found a YouTube channel today, in fact, that only had 30 odd subscribers, and it had been going for a little while, and the narrator was pretty good. And that makes me sad, really, as the sun disappears. Yeah, thanks, sun. That makes me sad. Sun sets, then I get happy, and the sun rises. There we go. The sun's coming out again. It disappoints me when I see people who put in an awful lot of effort and they don't really get the just rewards for what they're working on. And in horror narration, voiceover work, I think this is especially true. I think there's a real skill in being able to put on a performance. And that's why today I want to talk about GM Danielson. So GM Danielson has his own YouTube channel, but he's also been the host of the Simply Scary podcast for a while on Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. And his own channel has, I think they roughly have about the same amount of subscribers as us, I think around about 8,000, something like that. But he really deserves to have a much bigger audience, especially when you look at how much effort, and this is what I'm talking about, he puts into each video. So you listen to it. So first of all, the audio production is great quality. So he's not recording it on a potato. You know, he's actually using proper equipment by the sounds of it. He not only does that, but I know he also does a great deal in terms of sound production for his own videos as well. He edits everything together. And doing that myself, and I mean, I write most of my narrations as well, but even the ones that I don't, when you do all of that, it can take hours and hours and hours to do like a 15-minute narration. It can take a long time just to put something like that together. Whereas there are many YouTubers, and I'm not disparaging people who can do it really, really quickly, but I think there's a difference in the experience as well for the listener when you listen to someone like GM Danielson, who puts the time in to making sure that each narration is as good as it can be, that it elevates the experience. And that's especially important in horror, because many of the stories that you listen to in horror or fantasy in general, you're asked to suspend disbelief in a way that you're not asked or required to when you're watching a piece of drama on television, or even if you're listening to a radio play that may be a contemporary drama exploring day-to-day issues, that sort of thing. You're not asked to suspend disbelief in that way. The only way that you're asked to suspend disbelief most of the time in those situations is you're asked to just believe that the actors are real people, that they're well, actors are real people. The actors are the characters that they're playing, and that this is all real. That's the one piece of suspension of disbelief that you're asked for. But when you listen to a horror story, and I think this is why some people think that they wouldn't enjoy horror, they never really try it, they think that it's not for them, because you're asked also to suspend disbelief excuse me, in terms of how the world operates. So whether it's a ghost story or something about some sort of elaborate science experiment gone wrong, or whatever it is, you're asked to believe sometimes in things which defy the natural order. So that's on top of all the other stuff. So when you get to someone like J.M. Danielson, it's so important that the production's spot on, that the delivery is spot on, that you can shed all of that skepticism for the duration of the story. That's why it's so important. And that's why when I look at the narration community, and again, I'm not trying to disparage anyone here, there are people who do it, and I say good on you, go for it, who don't put in a lot of time. And then there are people like GM Danielson who do. And that putting in that time and that effort and learning I'm going to sound pretentious here, but the craft of performance and editing and the audio production side of things, when you put in that effort, you are bringing the listener in to what you're listening to, or to what you're saying. That's what you're doing. Now, as a writer, when I hear narrators narrate my stuff and I know they put that time in, I can tell. It's a thrill. You know, every time the No Sleep podcast does one of my stories, it's amazing. I know that it's going to be top quality audio production. The time's going to be put into it. Everyone's going to be extremely talented. And really the only failing that there can possibly be at that point is my own story, if there's an issue with it, really. So it's great when you hear that. And GM Danielson, to me, gives that same quality of delivery and performance. He's also a real Lovecraft fan. There's a performance piece aspect to his channel as well, because as GM Danielson, there's a kind of character, a sort of vampiric character, which sort of hosts the narrations as well in a lot of places. But he's also able to go in and out of different accents. I still to this day don't really know where he's from, which is a good thing. And it's not that the accent's muddled up. It's that sometimes he gives a really convincing English accent. Sometimes he gives a really convincing American accent, or within different dialect. And sometimes he gives a very what's the word, like a sort of mid-Atlantic accent as well in his performances. So I don't know where he's from. I don't know if he's from America. I don't know if he's from here. I'm not sure. Maybe he's travelled around a lot. If he's a vampire, he probably has done that. So I wanted to make this video to tell people to go and check out JM Danielson's channel. You'll see a link in the description below. I'll be putting this out on social media as well. And again, the reason that I'm doing this is that it's, like I say, he's roughly at the same level as we are subscribers wise. And I think he deserves to be. I think he deserves to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, to be perfectly honest. So I really hope. There's the sun going down again. I really hope that people. I'm going to disappear. Really hope that people support GM Danielson and go and check out his channel and subscribe to it. If you're a fan of Lovecraft, if you're a fan of classic tales, he also does more contemporary stuff as well. He's really able to do a broad spectrum of things, and I also know that he's going to be producing a lot more of his own fiction, which I'm sure will be excellent as well. So go and check out his channel, subscribe, give him a comment, support him, because it's really important. And it's not like, look, there's an aspect of doing anything that's in the arts which is about getting attention. Whether you're a writer or an actor or a voiceover artist or a producer or whatever it is, or a musician, there's always an aspect of wanting to get that pat in the back, recognition for the work that you're doing. I don't think there's anything wrong in admitting that. That's a part of it. But more than that, feedback for an artist is absolutely essential. It's essential to get comments, to hear what people think. And you have no idea how important the positive comments are. Critically constructive comments can be really important as well. But just someone taking the time to hit the like button, to hit subscribe, to comment and say, there's a car beeping outside. Well, they don't comment to say that. That wouldn't make any sense. There is a car beeping outside. But people commenting to say, this is high quality stuff. I really enjoyed it. That really pushes people on. And especially when people are sitting in front of the computer for hours and hours at a time. Being a YouTuber, doing this sort of stuff, or whether you're a writer and it can be quite an isolated experience. So going to the horror producers and creators, who, especially the ones who maybe need that little lift, and I'm not saying GM Danielson does, I'm just saying in general, especially the ones that haven't reached those heights yet. You have no idea how much that means. I mean, he gets a lot of comments on his channels anyway, but I think going and telling people that, look, you are good, there's something in this, is really important. And I really look forward to his channel becoming a top narration channel on YouTube. I really do. And I hope you guys will agree with me. So go and check out his channel down below. I'll leave a link down there. I'll also leave a link to his Facebook and to his Twitter. So please do go and check out GM Danielson. If you're a fan of horror, any kind, but if you're a fan of real quality storytelling, go and check him out, because he thoroughly deserves all the success he gets. Okay, so that's me almost done. I'll just end very quickly with a little update of what's happening in the channel. So first of all, I realised recently that we got a lot of comments on the Anime Nasties video that we did a couple of weeks ago. And some people were kind of like, newer subscribers who don't really know us as well, were kind of like, who is this? Who's Alan who was hosting that, and he writes and presents that series of videos, and Callum obviously does all the filming and everything as usual, and it just looks fantastic. He does such a great job. But it was just to reiterate to people that I know that sometimes you'll come here and you'll think that we are just a storytelling channel. We're not. We're a horror channel. And so you're going to get occasional videos, especially documentary videos, where we go out and actually make a full documentary. You've seen the Ghastly Tales of Scotland videos that Martin and Callum have put together, and Anime Nasties is in that vein, and it's looking at horror anime films, which is, some of them are quite obscure, some of them are well known, but Alan has a great knowledge of these things. And so you're going to get these videos every now and then. And really, my approach to Ghastly Tales has always been that I'd probably like a 50-50 mix. So say on a Monday you'll get an original narration or a narration of a classic ghost story. Then say on a Friday you'll get a sort of non-storytelling video, so you'll get something like a podcast, or you'll get a live stream, that sort of thing. We haven't done many live streams recently, and I think that's why some people maybe didn't realize that that's the sort of channel that you're subscribed to, is that it's all horror based, but you're going to get a lot of stuff. We also do films. We've done 7 so far. You can check that out on the channel. So anyway, I'm prattling on here just to let you know that there's going to be more of that stuff coming up. But don't worry, I know we've been a little light on narrations recently, and I get that. That's really my fault more than anyone else's. I've had a lot of work on, and also I've been away for a week there. So next up, we'll have a Ghost Story Society video coming out, which is a classic tale. Can't wait to release that one. We've got some original narrations as well, stories that we've written ourselves, and we're going to do some live streams soon. And I know Callum and Martin have a film that's pretty much done, so we've got that to look forward to as well. And finally, we've opened a Twitch account. I know Callum did a video on this. I haven't been on it yet, but I am going to be on it. I'm going to be streaming some classic horror games there that I really love. But Callum's been doing a lot of stuff there. Mick has been doing a lot of stuff there. So I'll leave a link to the Twitch account down there as well. But anyway, most importantly, go and check out GM Danielson. Subscribe to his channel. Support your horror creators. There aren't all that many of us, really, when it comes down to it. And there are very few who are really good. And GM Danielson is one of them. And he deserves your support. So go and check that out. A link to his channel in the description. And I'll be back soon with another episode of the podcast and a video here with a ghost story for you all to enjoy. All right, I'm going to go away now. I've got work to do. Live long and prosper. Some people don't like Star Trek. I love it.